watch we have under review today was advertised as an homage to a Rolex Yachtmaster. Now I can see some resemblance, but it bears a lot more of an homage to the Longines Hydra Conquest. And regarding the name of this, I've seen this in a number of different brand names, same watch but different brand names. This I think is called the KEIN, which may be a misspelling of Calvin Klein. I'm not sure, but anyway, let's have a look at this thing. Good day to you all and welcome back to another BBW review. So this is the KEIN. I'm not sure if you can see that clearly. The KEIN, also known under different brand names, although it's the same design watch. So as I mentioned, this watch was advertised as an homage to the Rolex Yachtmaster. Now the similarities to the Yachtmaster are the crown guards are pretty similar and the strap is pretty similar. The aesthetic is, but it's more closer to the Longines Hydra Conquest, which I'll show you the differences in the picture here. Now I'm not sure if the specs match the Longines, but they do follow the Rolex Yachtmaster, which we have first I should begin with the most important aspect of this is the price. This cost $14 US, shipped and packaged as usual from Shenzhen in China. You have a 50mm, start with the most important measurement, a 50mm lug width, which is about as big as I would like for my own personal use, and a 42mm across the diameter there. And again, 42mm is about as big as I would like to go for myself. The width of the lugs, where the bracelet meets the case itself, is 20mm, which is pretty standard. And you have a 13mm depth from the exhibition case bottom to the flat mineral crystal on top, although that do protrudes a bit more with that cyclops there, which I don't like cyclops at all. Going into the construction, this is going to be a chrome plated alloy, which is it's going to be a fingerprint magnet. It's quite blingy there. The bezel itself is not ceramic. It's going to be, I'm not sure what material it is, but it's certainly not ceramic for $14. It does protrude, as you can see, it does protrude over the case. So this itself, I took the measurements at 42mm across the bezel. So the case itself might be about a 40mm, but I'm taking the measurements at its largest diameter, which is the bezel here. And what other features do we have here? The bezel itself, let's check that out. It's a unidirectional bezel. It's got quite some resistance to it. And let's have a look at the back plate. Let's get this up to the 12. So the back plate, it's pretty good. You really have to force that to make that, let's focus that a bit better. You really have to force that bezel backwards to make it move. So not much back play in that at all. And if there is, probably less than half a minute, which is good. The dial itself, looking at the bezel again. So the bezel does follow the Hydra Conquest, whereas the Rolex, the markers here, they do protrude, where this is just printed, which again follows the Longines Hydra Conquest. The style of the dial itself, I really like this because of the grey hue here. That does copy the Rolex, and it does copy the Longines Hydro Conquest. Although on the Rolex, you don't have the numerals here. You just have the dots all around. So the numerals and the dots, they are applied with printed minute markers within those. You have let's try and move that date. It's as you can see, I'm trying to attempt here, there's a very slight difference in the gearing between moving the hands and adjusting the date. It's a very slight gear difference. So as you can see, as I'm moving the date, the hands also move, which is not so good. The numbers were a bit too big for the window itself, although the magnification is somewhere between a 1.5 and a 2 times magnification, but it's much too big. Those numbers are much too big, I think. Yeah, and I just don't like dates, and especially I do not like Cyclops. And I'm sure that Cyclops isn't positioned straight. It looks more bending down towards the right there. So, a bit of a downer on the aesthetic of this watch, for me anyway. But I do like those applied numerals there. They do look quite nice. The hands themselves, again, they do copy the Longines in their snowflake appearance on the hour and the flat post hand on the minute. And let's position this over the 12. So there you can see below the 12, you can see the brand name, color KEIN, and let's zoom in a bit more there, if I can. Manual zoom, as you see. Let's focus that a bit. Submariner. So there it's stealing from the Rolex. 300 meters. It's not, I believe it's 100 meters, even though the crown is not screw down, but it does have a screw down back. And the rest of this information is just copied straight from a Rolex Submariner, so you can completely disregard all that. Even the depth there, 1,000 feet, 300 meters. It's about 100 meters water resistant. And the hands themselves, yeah, they are quite nice hands. The printing is quite nice on the bezel. No problems there. And you do get a really nice sunburst hue on that. I really like this silver. Is it silver grey? Not quite gunmetal, but yes, a silver grey colouring there. Now, one thing that really confused me about this watch is I ordered this as an automatic. Surprisingly quite cheap as an automatic, but I thought I got a good deal. But now, this should be, if it is an automatic, this should be hacking right now, because I can move the hands and the second hand is not moving. But watch what happens when I start the second hand moving. Now you can see it's quite jumpy, it's not smooth, but that could be just a 3 hertz movement. Sorry, a 3 hertz movement. That means 3 ticks every second. So a better movement would be 4 or 5 hertz, or 4 or 5 ticks per second. This is 3, so it's not so smooth. But I thought, that's okay. It's probably just quite a slow automatic movement. And then I looked at the back. Now, as you can see, quite decorated there. You have a really fluid bi-directional rotor, which is patterned there. It's quite difficult to see the mechanics there. That's because there aren't any. There's no flywheel at all there. So after some inspection, I found out this is a MechaQuartz, and from their literature, from the advertisements of this watch, that rotor apparently is there to power the battery. So with the movement, it's not putting power into the balance wheel, it's putting power into the battery. I'm not sure how true that is, or if it's just here for decoration. But I've never seen a watch, a MechaQuartz watch, with a battery that has this kind of decoration, or even the need for a rotor. But there you go. So since you're on the back, the only details you get are a stainless steel back automatic watch, which it's not. It's at the most it's going to be a MechaQuartz watch with, again, that rotor with the movement of it apparently putting power in the battery, and the battery I haven't seen. I couldn't actually get the back off. It's either screwed down too tight, or if it is a pull on, sorry, if it is a pull off, push down cover, I just can't see the groove where you do remove that back cover. So I'm guessing it's going to be a screw down, but it's just really, really stiff. And again, I couldn't remove it to have a look deeper into that movement to see if there is a battery underneath there somewhere, and if that rotor does in fact have any purpose in powering that battery. I don't think it does. So back to the watch itself, the face itself. Standard, no name on the crown. It's quite a small crown. The guards, as I mentioned earlier, they do copy the Rolex Yachtmaster, and it's quite a badly designed arrangement here. You can't actually remove the crown from the top. You have to get a fingernail under the bottom and pull it out. From the top, no, there's no, you can't really get purchase at all. There's no gap where you can get a nail down there, but there is from the bottom, but not from the top. So it will be pulled out from the bottom, and even then it's quite stiff, and pushed in. So it does, I mean, even from the exhibition case, which is quite nicely designed, and the movement itself, it does give the appearance of being an automatic watch, but it's not. It's a MechaQuartz. But still, for the price, I can't really complain. And unlike the, again, a comparison between the Rolex and Longines, the Rolex, I believe, does have the 12 o'clock pip there, but the Longines doesn't. It just has the triangle. There isn't any real loomed, so to speak, of, even on the pip. The lineup is, I'm not sure if that's actually in line or not. There it isn't, no. And there's not much play. So that's about the best you can do with the lineup. It seems okay with the 9, the 3 and the pip below the 12. It looks okay. Onto the bracelet. So the bracelet copies the Rolex Yachtmaster in its design. It's a push pin bracelet to remove those links. It's a really long bracelet. I've had to remove, I think, 5 links from this to fit my 6.5 inch wrist. Standard butterfly clasp, works okay. The links are quite big, there's no small links, so you might have a bit of a problem with the perfect fit there. But I never usually have problems with butterfly clasps. Fortunately, it's not a rolled link, but it's not solid. They are hollow links, which gives it quite a nasty sound once it's off the wrist. And where it joins the case itself, it's quite janky. You can see the gap there between the case and that end link there. And look at the movement. Now obviously you don't experience this once it's on the wrist, but that's really bad movement, and it just flop about. On the other side, no better. Look at the gap there. So a really bad bracelet. Nothing special at all, but I think they could have done a lot better there. Even though it is just $14, that's a really bad fit. If I was really into this watch, I would change the strap, but I've got so many watches now I can't be bothered, and it's not really worth it. I mean, once it's on the wrist, it looks okay. And back to that. Yeah, I really think with that brand name, KEIN. I really think they tried to copy a Calvin Klein and just misspelt it for legal reasons. KEIN. Where do they get these names from? And you can see under this light that Cyclops does leave a nasty reflection there. And I'm sure that's not on straight. I'm really sure that Cyclops doesn't even cover the date window. I'm going to have to find out actually how you can remove these Cyclops, which I'll start experimenting on with much cheaper watches than this, even though this is cheap enough. I don't really want to damage it. I quite like the look and aesthetic of this watch. Oh, but I feel I am rambling a bit here. So let's have a look at this on the wrist. So this is what it looks like on the wrist. So 50mm lug width. You're not going to get too much of a gap under there, which I like, even though it's 50mm. But one thing that I didn't mention is the case design. It's a really awful case design. It's just flat, and there's no attempt at trying to make these lugs curve downwards for the angle of the wrist. It's a really bog standard flat case, which I don't like. Wrist roll. Really standard bracelet as well. And if you're into this watch, I would change that bracelet, which you can get a much better one for about $3 or $4. So there you have it, the KEIN, I think that's how you pronounce it, homage to the Longines Hydro Conquest. Do I recommend it? For the money, I do, yes. It does have a strange movement, and one that cannot be defined as being MechaQuartz or just a normal quartz. And I'm not sure about that rotor that does put power back into the battery. But for the money, it's quite a good deal, apart from it being a bit bulky. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again with another watch on the green chair. Until then, as always, take it easy.